Na hao much tá dá. Bojo ani kinawia kichmi gwachki vishayak monpi and Shnabak Nation gizes o Mizunigan and Shnabamun Kidwinan. Migo Chwendam Falcon McLeod, Beakinamage Young Nungum. Hello everybody. Let's get this evening started. I'd like to say thank you to everyone for coming here for this webinar featuring Anishinaabemowin words and phrases from the annual calendar for Wababaga Gizes. Thank you to Falcon for teaching us today. Ali Darne and Dishnagas, Gitagan Zibi and Donjaba, Anishinaabe Aini Ganzi Gadang, Anishinaabe Nation and Donjanaki. I'm Ali Darnay from the Ojibways of Garden River First Nation. I work for the Anishinaabe Nation as the Anishinaabe manager. The Anishinaabe Nation established the Anishinaabe Department in January of 2023 to support language preservation, reclamation, and revitalization. Ngichinendam Jinakitwa, Gidinwinina, Miigwachwendam. I'm happy to work with our language and grateful. Nahau, Gintam Lori, Maba Nishnabawin and Keed, Anishinaabe coordinator Lori McLeod Shabagishik. It's your turn.
Ani can Chimigwech Gibajayak, Lori McLeod Shabagishik and Dishnakas, Anishinaabe King Debendagos, Anishinaabe Nation Ndonjanaki. As Ali mentioned, I'm her partner in the Anishinaabe department, and I'm very happy that you all could make it tonight. And I will be reciting the Ngudwe Wangazit Anishinaabe. I was listening to an elder speaking recently, and she was talking about how Anishinaabe was meant to be spoken slowly. And I really like that because as we go through this, like these words have really profound and in-depth meaning. So I like to kind of take my time with it. So this is Ngudwe Wangazit Anishinaabe, one Anishinaabe family. The Benjiged Gi San Anishinaabe and the King, Gibidugwan Gadnem and Adowa Dizawin. Creator placed Anishinaabe on the earth along with the gift of spirituality. Shkude nebe ake noden, Gibidagostadan we nagadawen mam pishkagmagong. Here on Mother Earth, there were gifts given to the Anishinaabe to look after: fire, water, earth, and wind. The Benjige Giminan Gich Twawin Dagok, Anishinaaben wa no donjin in the Nishwaswe Kinumarbanan. The Creator gave Anishinaabe 7 sacred gifts to guide them. They are Zagidwin, Debwewin, Manadendamwin, Nabwakawin, Dabadendiswin, Wekwadzawin, Minwa Akadewin. Love, truth, respect, wisdom, humility, honesty, and bravery. Debenjige Kimin Guna, Dedbenwe Winagadoendowin. Creator gave us sovereignty to govern ourselves. Kamana dendana gabe ejwebak, minwa nangwa megwa ejwebak, minwa geabe wan ejwebak. We respect and honor the past, present, and future. Chimigwech. And this was part of our preamble to the Anishinaabe Nation Constitution. And these images that are within the circle were created for us by our former lead elder, Gordon Wandabensba, Shikeba. He gifted them to us, and they're just so beautiful. And so I love it whenever we share that. It's just it feels like he's here with us. Now, Gretch. So as Ali mentioned, we are working on the Gizasob Zinagun for 2025. This will be our 4th calendar. And I am doing a call out. If you have language classes, a language hub, camp, website, YouTube channel, anything that you would like to have included in the calendar, please do let us know. My email is on the sheet here on the slide. And also we're looking for contributors from throughout Anishinaabe Nation. We have quite a few from, Lake Huron, but we also need some from Northern Superior and the Southwest especially. So if you would like to contribute, if you're interested, please don't hesitate to contact me and find out more. Chimigwach.
Miigwech, Lori. All right, now I have the pleasure of introducing you to our facilitator this evening. I want everybody to welcome McLeod. He will be joining us to share phrases to use in the classroom. As mentioned, these are included in Wabuga Gisis in the Anishinaabeg Nation's Gisis Ozumizinagun. Falcom has spent most of his life as a member and resident of Nipissing First Nation with ties to Chagin. Throughout his learning journey, he has learned from Odawa speakers, Northwestern speakers, Southwestern speakers, and Nipissing speakers. He's learned language at home thanks to his mother, in formal education institutions, and honed further in immersion camps. He's headed into his 8th year as a Anishinaabe language teacher for Near North District School Board and is a part-time Anishinaabe instructor for Nipissing University for 3 years. Chimigwech Falcon for joining us today. It's really great to have you.
Oh, Miigwech for having me and putting up with me. Okay, so I thought it might be a good idea um to just start off with some terms that I'll probably be using throughout this lesson just to kind of help explain things further. And so first off in Ojibwe, we have 4 types of verbs, and verbs are action words. So the first one we have here is called VII, and it stands for verb, inanimate noun, intransitive. And so that's just inanimate nouns doing actions. Next we have intransitive verbs for animate nouns. So those are VAI, verb, animate, intransitive. And so before we move on to the next two, I thought it'd be best to explain that these first 2 verbs are best introduced in their smallest form. And then from there, we start adding our prefixes and suffixes. And so for that, we use them in third person singular. So she or he is doing something, or it is doing something. And so once we start adding prefixes and suffixes to that, we can manipulate the verbs quite a bit. And then moving into VTI, which is verb transitive inanimate. And so this is where animate nouns are acting upon inanimate nouns. So like I see it, I eat it, and stuff like that. The last one here is VTA, probably the one that's more intimidating for learners. It's verb transitive animate. So these are animate nouns acting on other animate nouns. And for the transitive verbs, it's best to, like, the smallest form we can work with is their second person singular command form. And so, like, when you're telling someone, look at it, or look at him or her. And so that's how I've broken down a lot of these phrases. And then I've kind of highlighted the prefixes and suffixes that you can use to further manipulate these verbs in a variety of ways. All right, that's it for that. Oh, so we talked a little bit about imperatives like commanding, bossing people around for our transitive verbs. Next is A form or independent clause. So these are just like plain sentences. For example, the dog is eating. Just independent sentences like that. Next, we have B form or dependent clauses. And so this is kind of like additional phrasing. If you hear these on their own, they sound incomplete to us. So, for example, that the dog is eating doesn't sound complete to our ears. And that's what we call a dependent clause because it kind of adds additional information. And to simplify things and make things a little bit more approachable, we use terms like A form, B form, and C form. The last one there is C form that I know of. And it's also called the participle, and it's just changing our verbs into nouns. So, for example, the dog who is eating is our way of turning the action of a dog eating to a noun. Okay. So this one here, G'dan Mikagum Goke Kinoma Gegumgung. So we are welcoming you back to school. So for this one here, I thought it'd be easier to kind of like refer back. So we got Giga Wabamigom. So that's like we will see you all. So like we have Gawaba Min, I see you. Uh Giga Wabamigom, we will see all of you guys. And so for that, it's easier to think of it that the prefix and the suffix work together for this. So you have their paradigm with a G in front and then the igom. And so that's when we put a VTA in between those, um, yeah, it means we are acting on you all. And so, for example, another example is Guido cow, help him or her. So if you say Guido ka gom, that means we are helping all you guys. And I brought that up because Guido cow kind of changed the paradigm suffix there, the igom to like an agom. And I remember hearing a speaker, like I said, we said Gawapamin for ICU. One time I heard a speaker tell a learner, Kuido Kon. So I'm gonna help you. And so there are some sounds that change like that, and that was how I wanted to highlight this. And then so our verb for the phrase there is nim cow, which means greet him or her. And you might hear this one more commonly around New Year's time, like G'dan uh, Mikon, like I'm greeting you. And so when we combine that all, ge egom, and then nimkau, we have G'dan Mikagom. So we are greeting all you guys. It's a way of welcoming people. And then goke, back or to its original location. I kind of have that highlighted as a nipsing word because I haven't come across that in other dialects. Could be something I just missed. And then the next word we have is Knomagagamic, which I'm sure a lot of us know means school. And I have this bracketed part here right after it with a capital W. And it's because from language documentation, I noticed that there are some letters that follow these words, and they change our suffixes depending on what's added. So, for example, if we're looking at the word tig, which also has that same capital W suffix connector, and if you add the ing suffix there for making it a place, it wouldn't go mtigwing or mtigging. Our speakers will say mtiggung. And so we know that W changes the suffixes to an O sound. And same thing with Kinomagagamic. It also has that W suffix connector that I call them suffix connectors. And so that's how we go from Kinomagagamic to Kinomagagam gung. It's because that W sound and that I, when they mix together, they form that O sound. Okay, so the next one here, Noki Gijgat, Labor Day. So from my interpretation, Noki, like he or she is working. This is our VAI, animate noun doing an action. And so he or she's working, Gijgat, and then that's our VII. It is a day. So uh next one there, Nui Ja Knoma Gegum Gung means I want to go to school. And so a lot of us might be familiar with that N prefix meaning I or me. And then the we is our tense marker. And so in Ojibwe, we use our tense markers as prefixes. And so we is what's called the indefinite future tense, meaning like a want to. So in we, I want to, and then whatever. So in we, and then ja means he or she goes somewhere. In this case, it's the school. So ja means he or she goes somewhere, and then we broke down Knomagegumgung in the last slide there. Next we have in we, gi, we. So again, we have that N prefix there for I or me. And then we, indefinite future, is wanting to. And then giwe is our VAI for she or he goes home. And so, yeah. And then spin can in go. So politely raise your hand. And so for this one, I thought it'd be a good opportunity to kind of like go a little bit further into the root words for this one. And so for root words, we have usually three types. We have the initials, medials, and then the finals. And so the initials are usually reserved for adjectives or descriptors. So like spe, meaning upwards or skywards. And then medial is reserved for like body parts, and other kind of relating to nature, natural objects. So that nick part is referring to the arm. And then the is kind of just like a verb maker, just kind of makes things a verb. And then our final is the ni, So from there, spinkane means she or he is raising their arm or raising their hand. And then that last N sound is our singular command suffix. So it's like you're telling one person to raise their hand. And then g, from my understanding, um, sometimes has the function to kind of like soften the voice of your command. So where spinken in could just mean like raise your hand. Spinken in g might be a way to sound more polite in your request. Oh, next here we have Juan and go walk wedge Miyeg. So who has a question for me? Um, yeah. And so I I noticed in Nipsing we use a lot of Juan in for our questions for who. So those are how we ask who questions. We use a Juan in. It's an interrogative pronoun. And then that wa prefix is a changed version of that we that we had before. And so it also means want to. Um, Sometimes in Ojibwe we change sounds, um, and it sounds jarring to us as learners. But as you get more experience and more exposed to Ojibwe, it's not as bad. English does change sounds, and in my lessons, I've highlighted that it changes sounds quite drastically sometimes and quite randomly. But with Ojibwe, it's pretty consistent. It's just like the first vowel sound. Next, we have Kwejim, which is ask him or her. And then we have Ayeg, which is a B form suffix, and that's for you all to me. And so, Wakwej Miyeg, what you all want to ask me. And then just to highlight further, to ask our who questions, it's a grammar pattern that's built around one N plus C form. And C form is just where we do initial change so that we change the we sound to a wa sound, and we use a B form suffix most times. And then we got Jibiganatik Nukdayan for 7. So Jibiganatik is, we say pencil. And then na is a question particle, and it usually elicits like a yes no response from your audience. Um, and then we have that G prefix, which is this one is for when you're talking about you. So that's the part of this one that means you. So do you. And then yawn is our VTI word for have it, having something inanimate, because we're referring to the pencil, which is considered inanimate. And so in the breakdown there, I put an A in front because there's a A sound that Nipissing or other vowel droppers have de-stressed. We usually don't pronounce it, but when we add prefixes like N and G sounds, like we do here, that's when it comes back in. And so, yeah. Do we have questions or? I can't see the questions, but anyways, I'll just keep
No
going.
questions yet. No questions yet. We have some just comments, reminding people that they can ask questions either in the chat or by raising their hand. And then Lori copied over some of those descriptions for people for VII, and everybody else is A-okay for now.
Okay, awesome. All right, so next one, Jibigana Tik Naktawi. So we got Jibigana Tik again, pencil, na, question. And then here we have a new tense marker, is da. And this is what's called the modal tense marker or modal prefix. And this is where it means should, could, or would. And then this one here has a VTA paradigm that's practiced in Nipissing. Not other, not all dialects practices, but we have a g sound in front and an I sound at the end. And this is when we're using it for you or acting on me. Most dialects will just have a g sound in front for their VTA, like Gawabam, you see me. But Nipissing, we have that I suffix, so Gawabam me, you see me. And then our VTA is Wit, which is borrow from him or her. So Jabigana Tiknak Dawi. So could you lend me a pencil? Next one we have here in Dajana Wigwam Sing. So can I go to the bathroom? So again, N for me, Da for should, could, or would, Ja for go somewhere. And then we have Na as our question particle. And then for the word bathroom, speakers here like the word wigwam. This is how I've just kind of broken it down. Wigwam for house. Wigwam is a small house or an outhouse, which is used for bathroom as well. And we have that ing, that locative suffix there that we had earlier for Kinomog Yegamic. And so Wigwam sing is our way of saying at or in the bathroom or outhouse.
So Falk,
Yep.
we do have a question in the chat. And the question is I will and I want to sort of similar? Like
From
anyway?
from my understanding, I will is what's called the definite future tense. Like in gun banana again, like I'm gonna go to bed later. Versus in we, it says indefinite. Nween ba, like I want to go to bed, but uh, something may get in the way of that happening. I got two boys here that are under 4 years old, and so they might keep me up all night, and we'll see what happens.
So would you say then that ga is more like will or shall?
Yeah. For that one, it's either ga or da. Most of the time it'll be ga. For nga and ba, like I will go to sleep. But if you're talking about someone else, uh, like BB's done ba, like the baby will go to sleep. So when you're talking about third person, singular or plural, you use the da. For the transitive verbs though, VTIs and VTAs, you're going to use ga for any of them.
Okay, so in lay terms, what would be an example of I will or I want to?
Sorry, could you say it again?
In simpler terms, what is an example of I will and I want to? Just so we can see the difference between will and shall and I want to or is going to, you know?
So like I want to um like I want to
Like
go to town.
Nuija.
Nui,
Nuija.
yeah, Nui Zhao Odenong, like I want to go to town. Ngaja Odenong, like I'm gonna go to town.
Sorry, it was a funny phrase. I'm gonna go to
Yeah.
town. Uh, but yeah, I've heard it described like the way that you're talking about too as well, where like you've got the ga as the definite future, the I will or shall, and then the we as an indefinite future. And so that's where we get that kind of idea of like, I want to do this. I had a teacher though who would say like, yeah, it's like saying I will do this, but it's like it's not for certain. If I say Jonya Gamagong Nuija, it's like I'll go to the bank or maybe I won't. Like, but if I say like, oh, Jonya Gamagong Ngasha, it's like I'm going there. Like for sure. I'm going there. So
Yeah, from what I noticed, Ojibwe leaves a lot of space for allowing external things to happen. Like in Ojibwe, you kind of use your words more than you would your tone of voice. Like like in English, when we ask a question, like a yes, no question, we do that with our word order. We'll switch things around. So like can I go to the bathroom versus I can go to the bathroom. So I can go to the bathroom and we'll switch the word order around. Can I go to the bathroom? And so we'll use our word order in English to facilitate a question. But in Ojibwe, we use our words like na. And so that like in Ojibwe we have different ways of expressing a variety of things of nuance. And we usually do that through our words and not so much tone of voice and stuff like that. You can use tone, but like you'll see that there are more specific ways to express things. Okay, so Akebone and Sidzoengi. This is one I didn't come up with. I just kind of saw it there and I was like, oh, I'll try and break it down there. So okay, we have world or and then bone, like bone ta, like cease, stop, and then and Sidza is a VAI for he or she takes their life. And then win is another suffix we can use to make our verbs into nouns. And so that's how we get that word there for prevention. Bone, like preventing it. And then gijgad for it is a day. Next there we have Jeff Namaya. It's like, is Jeff here? So, when I'm teaching my classes, I'm using a lot of these for attendance. I just use Jeff because it felt like a name that people could like go to could zero in on and be like, oh, that's an English word. Sometimes when I use words that are names that sound like they can be spelt in Ojibwe, it confuses my students there. So try to use names like Jeff with sounds that don't appear in Ojibwe. Uh, so na is our yes no question particle again. We're using our words to um, articulate stuff in Ojibwe. And then ma is a locational adverb for here. And then ya or ya in other dialects is our verb for he or she is located. It's another VAI word. And then next, if Jeff's not around, we have gone ma ya see a Jeff. And so we got our locational adverb ma here, and then ya for he or she is located. And we have a grammatical agreement here. So in Ojibwe, we use a lot of grammatical agreements where we use either two or more aspects of grammar to express something. In this case, it's negation or negativity. So you need that gone, going, ka in front, and then you need see at the end of your verb, just like we put here, ya see. So altogether, that means Jeff isn't here. Gone my ya see a Jeff. And then next one there, on the ya Jeff. Where's Jeff? And so we got on it as a interrogation adverb there for where. And then again, we're using our verb ya for he or she is located. And then we have a D suffix. And this is a VAI third person singular B form suffix. So when you're talking about third person or someone external, you use that suffix there. And then just to highlight as another grammar pattern, we got onde plus B form is how we do our where questions in Ojibwe. And we got some responses here. So ma and dia, like I'm here, I'm present. So we got ma, it's our locational adverb for here. And then n is our prefix from before, meaning I or me. And then our verb ya, he or she is located.
Falcon, we have a question in the chat.
Yep.
Dell is asking, what would be the locative adverb be for there?
So here in Nipissing, we would use wede. Yeah, wede. Other dialects you might hear iwede. Other dialects they might use they have two ma's. There's oma and then ima. And so I think oma is like right here, but ima is like within a short walking distance, like over there. And then iwede is like way over there. All right, we got Spimsagumnya. So we got the Spimsug is our noun for upstairs, and it's got that W suffix connector. And so we add the ing to make it a locative. It becomes Spimsagung. That I and the W form a W sound or form an O sound for located upstairs. And then again, our ya verb here, she's located. And then we got the opposite of that, Nisgonya. So he or she's downstairs. So we got our Nisug, which is downstairs, and it also has a W suffix connector. So when we add the ing locative suffix, it becomes Nisgung or Nisugum for located downstairs. And then again, our verb for he or she's located, ya. All right, so we have Indoji Tajin Nukiyan. So I'm ready for work. And so we have that N prefix for I or me, n, and then jita is our VAI for he or she is ready. Following that, we have a j prefix. It's a B form future tense, meaning kind of like to or so. So like I'm ready to work or I'm ready so I can work. And then noki is another VAI for he or she's working. And then yan is our B form suffix for I or me. So if we had a different B form suffix, like a D for D sound before, you could say Ndoji Tajin Nokid, like I'm ready for him to work. Like it doesn't exactly work, but unless you're real lazy or something there, but like there's time and place for everything. And so the that's how we can manipulate our language and stuff like that. Next one here, I got Wanen Wawido Quind. So again, we have that Wido cow from before. So Wanen Wawido Quind, who wants to help? Uh, and so Wanen is an interrogative pronoun again for who. And then we know wa is a changed form of we, our indefinite future tense, want to. Wido cow, VTA for help him or her. So two animate nouns acting upon each other. And we have an ind suffix. It's a B form suffix. And this is where she or he is acted on by an unspecified entity. And so who wants help? And it's more of like it's just a way to really, it's a tricky thing to explain. It's just who wants the act of helping. And then we have one N plus C form is our who questions again. This unspecified entity is what's called the indefinite actor. And the best way I can articulate it in English is the word traffic. Now, when we hear the word traffic, what goes on in our mind is we can see a bunch of vehicles driving or on the street or in a highway, but we don't know, we can't visualize who's driving those cars. And that's what the indefinite actor is. When you know an action is taking place, but can't articulate who the entity is. And so that's what is being asked here. Who wants help from an unknown entity? All right, so we got Ngini ke ga no cod mon. So I forgot my homework. Hear this one a lot. No, just kidding. So we have a n prefix again for I or me, and gi is our past tense prefix. So it's happened already. And then ni ke is our VAI for he or she forgets. So that's that first part there. And then we got ga is a changed form of ki. And so it's the same thing, it's just a little bit different. And we got our verb, which is a VTI, no ka dan, which means he or she works on something animate. And then so for this one here, we've put it in B form with our AAN suffix, and it changes that N at the end to an M sound. So no cod mon. And so this is an example of C form changing our verbs to nouns. And so ga no cod mon kind of means like what I have worked on. Also what we can understand as homework.
Number 20.
Yeah. Washme we batwananga macha. So I have to leave earlier. Washme we ba. So in is the again I or me prefix. And then the ga is what we were talking about before, is a definite future tense. So I have to or I will. Ma ja is our VAI for he or she will leave. Twana is a particle meaning have to. Again, this is another one I've seen more so in Nipissing than anywhere else, so I'm not too sure if other dialects use twana for have to. And then washme is an adverb meaning more so. So wiba meaning earlier, washme wiba more earlier. And then we got bzindwik, eknomowik. So listen to your teacher. And then we got our VTA bsindao, which means listen to him or her. And if we add the IK suffix directly to that, this is where we can command a group of people to listen to one person. So that's the you all part there. Bsindwik, all you guys, listen to him or her. And then we have eknomowik, which is the one who teaches you. So this is again, we're changing our verbs to a noun. And so this is currently is in C form. It's got this hanging E prefix called aorist conjunct prefix. So sometimes used in place of changing our keys to gauze, like that initial change. Then we have our verb, kano so it's a VTA for teach him or her. And then we have that ik, B form suffix for third person acts on you. So the one who teaches you is what this is. Eknomoik, the one who teaches you. We got Kinon Dan. I should have dropped the GAA there, so it should be just one of those. So Kinon Dan Nagok dot Eknomoik. There we go. Yeah. And so, did you hear what your teacher said? And so we got this key sound in front. Now, what that k sound, that's two G's together that we put together to make a K sound. So there's a G sound, that means the U, and then the G sound is a past tense marker. So yeah, so we have the G G plus G means key. And then our verb known don is hear something inanimate. So did you hear it? And then na is our question particle. And then again, ga is our change form of gi. And then kida, he or she says, with our D suffix, our B form suffix we've discussed earlier. So ga kadut is C form, where we changed our verb to a noun. So it means more of like what he or she said. gakdut, what he or she said. And then again, we've already explained ekonomowik as the one who teaches you, your teacher. So kinondan gakdut ekonomowik. Did you hear what your teacher said to you? Or did you hear what your teacher said? All right, we got skaknan gadom duewestigan. Put your phone away. So we got skaknan, which is our VTI command. So put something inanimate away. And then we can also use our N and G prefixes on our nouns to express ownership. And this term, for this one, we're using ga for you, and then duewestigan for phone. This is one of the words I've heard in Nipissing. There's probably others, and I've heard other words like biwap combs. I can't remember anymore. I've heard of a few for the word phone. So this one's going to be uh, pretty pretty commonly used for teachers with students and their phones. Next one here we have in Nipissing we use more of like an onin dash with a single I for how are you? And so for this one here, onin is an interrogative adverb, and then dash is like a particle. I've noticed it meaning kind of like specifically, and so kind of together it means kind of like how's it? How's it going? You know, just a little bit more um contracted. All right, we got minwen dum, so means I'm happy. Again, we have that n prefix from before for I or me, and then minwen dum for he or she's happy. And dok chapiten dum for I'm excited. Um, again, we have that n sound in front for I or me, and then chapiten dum is our VAI for he or she is excited. The next one here we got Ngini Ken Dona Kwemi Jim. So I forgot my lunch. And so for this one here we got n as a prefix for I or me. Gi is our past tense prefix. Ni ke is our VAI for he or she forgets. So ngini ke, I forgot or I forget it. And then we have an n sound in front again for I or me in front of a noun. And so nakwami jim is our word for noun or noon food, which is um lunch. So I saw some questions about dough. Or I saw one question about dough. I've kind of been I've seen it explained as present tense, but I don't know if it's for me it doesn't really mean a present tense because we use it on nouns and nouns don't have tense markers. For me, it's more of an extension of our N and G prefixes. Ndo, like ndo na kwemi Jim. Like um we use those for I think it's more of just differentiating. So nakwemi Jim has an N sound in front. Now, if we had two N sounds put together, nakwemi Jim, it's not very distinct as my lunch or his or her lunch. It's just lunch. And so we have that do not kwemi Jim. That's where it's like, okay, this is my lunch. So it's just a more clear way of expressing mine versus him or hers, etc. And so um some people use it to or explain it as present tense. I don't like doing that because uh, our verbs are already in present tense, like min when dumb, like I am presently happy, but there's no do there. Um, and so for me, it just seems more of an extension of our N and G prefixes. I call it um, a pronoun extender or yeah, pronoun extension. Extended pronoun, that's what I called it. All right, so we got Nwim Nekwe. So in other dialects, you have a verb for the feeling of thirst. And Gosna Bogwe, I think, in some dialects. But in Nipissing, we don't have that. We don't practice that anymore. So for when we say we're thirsty, we use Inwimnikwe. And so that n is I or me. We is our indefinite future tense, meaning want to. And in nikwe means he or she's drinking. So in nikwe, I want to drink. I'm thirsty. They're kind of used same like that. And then we have Benojiag Japiten Dog Sawak. So Abenojiag, children, plural. And then Japiten Dog Sawak. So like they are really important. So every child matters. So that's how we get that. And then when I was going through these, I thought I had to break down everything there. So when I got to Debwewin, Minwa, Bonen de Moa, Bonen de Moen, Yijigat, I was like, holy jeez, okay, how would I interpret that? So we got Debwewin for truth. So Debwe, he or she speaks the truth. And then our win suffix for making a verb a noun. And then minwa for and or. This next part is a bit of more personal interpretation. I wouldn't say it's how everyone would break it down, but this is how I understood it as bon and dum, to cease, he or she ceases thought, and then our win suffix for making a noun. So reconciliation was interpreted as ceasing past thoughts or ideas, like just kind of like breaking down those stereotypes, like or preventing people from thinking of us in stereotypes. So that's how I interpreted that. So we got some extra phrases, and so we got Indominwaya, so I am in good health. So we have an n ensa n prefix there for I or me, and then minwaya for he or she is good or in good health. And then we got Nwibi Zawe Bagwayan Wabang. So I want to wear an orange shirt tomorrow. So we got that n for I or me, we for indefinite, want to. And then our VTI for wear something inanimate, so biskan. And then the next word there, Zawe Bagwayan. So Zawe is an initial root word we can use for either orange, yellow, or brown. In this case, we're talking about orange shirt day, so we more mean orange. And Bagwayan is our word for shirt. And then Wabang is a temporal adverb for tomorrow. All right, so we got Nwibi Ska Nan and Domkiz Nan Nijgijgag. So I want to wear my moccasins on Tuesday. So we got an n again for I or me, we for want to, and then biskan, wear something inanimate. And we have an additional suffix here, an an. And so this is when you're acting on an inanimate noun and it's plural. This is where you got to add that in. It's another grammatical agreement. And then we have n for I or me in front of a noun, which is mine. So mkizin is shoe. And then we pluralize it with an an, kiznan. And so nijgishgat is a VII, it means like it is the second day or it is Tuesday. And then so when we put that into what's called B form and we change that D at the end of the word to a G, it becomes nijgishgug, which means more of like on Tuesday. It's how we connect that kind of together. We got Ndayakuz, I'm tired, which is pretty handy for everyone. So again, we have that N for I or me. And when we look at the whole word for yekse, if you look to our non-vowel dropping brothers and sisters, their word is in ayekoze for he or she is tired. But as vowel droppers, we'll say yekse. And so, but we do use those vowel sounds for time and place. Like for when you're expressing I'm tired, and dayekuz. So we bring back that A and that O sound for this. And then we got indakuz, I am sick. So that N in front for I or me, and then oxde for he or she is sick. And then there's that O sound that we sometimes de-stress that I've put in there for this particular situation. So oxe, he or she is sick, and dakuz, I am sick. Then we got indonchka diz for I am angry. So n for I or me, and then in shkadze for he or she is angry. So again, there's like an I sound there that's sometimes de-stressed, and I like to highlight those uh, when I'm teaching, just to make sure that students know it's there and that there's a time and place to use it. And the next one here, we got in Minwen Don Nobwatch Gay on for I like to read. Again, we have that n, I prefix, I or me prefix. Minwen Dun is a VTI for like something inanimate. And then Nobwatch Gay means is a VAI word for he or she reads. I think this is another one that's more of a nipsing word. I don't know if other dialects have that. And then our on or yon suffix is for B form first person. So when you're referring to yourself. So Nobwatch Gay on is that I read. So Minwen Don Nobwatch Gay on. I like to read, or I like that I read. We got Nobwatch Gay Da. So again, Nobwatch Gay, and then our Da suffix is where we're commanding the second and first person. That's where that 2 to 1 comes. So like let's all read. Nabwachke da. And then we got Mzinbige da. Mzinbige da for let's draw again. Mzinbige, he or she draws. And then Ngum da, let's all sing. Ngamo, he or she sings. Ngum da, let's all sing. Nani Buin for you, stand up. We got Nani Bue for he or she is standing. And then we have that N prefix for commanding one person to stand up. So Nani Buen, just you, stand up. And then we got the plural version of that, Nani Buick. So all y'all stand up. So we got Nani Bue for he or she stands. And then with that, instead of the N suffix, we use a K for commanding a group of people. Y'all stand up. We got Ande and Nankian for what are you doing? So ande is interrogative adverb, and then kian means like what you are doing. It's again another C form. So inaki or inanki, he or she works a certain way or does something. So we've got some C form initial change. So we're changing that I sound in front to an E sound. And then we're adding our B form suffix yun, which is you. And so we have Anishinaabe and Dao. So I'm in Indigenous Ojibwe. So we have that N for I or me, Awe for he or she something. This one ends with a short vowel sound. When you're talking about yourself or second person, the you drop that short vowel at the end. So in Dao, I'm Anishinaabe. Anishinaabe, good Dao, you are Anishinaabe. We have Nipsing and Donjaba, so I'm from Nipsing First Nation, so we have that N, I or me prefix, and then Njaba, he or she is from a certain place, and it's O sound in front, where we get that Do sound, so Ndonjaba. We have Onde and Sidbuganek. So what time is it? Onde, again, Nipsing uses Onde for like almost all those kind of like 5W questions. And we have Ensid Debuganek. So what number time? Again in C form. So Ensid is a Nipsing relative root prefix. It refers to numbers. And so its initial change form goes from Nsid to N-Sid with an E. And Debugane is it is a time. And then G is our VIIB form suffix. And we got in Sud Bugane, it is 3 o'clock. So in Su is our initial for 3, and Bugane is it is a time, or it is a certain time. Next, we have blank Indage cause, and most people know this for introducing themselves for what their name is, and it's kind of like is how I'm called. Indigenous cause is how I'm called. So N again for I or me, and Jin cause he or she is called a certain way. And again, we bring those I sounds back for when we're talking about ourselves. We got Mdaswe and Sidbon is for I'm 10 years old. So Mdaswe is our number for 10. Uh, for I or me, and oh, I should have put a Do in there, and Do and Sidbon is. That's my bad. Um, yeah, so that in Sid is referring to the number again, a grammatical agreement, and then Bonze for he or she is winter or year. And so in Ojibwe, we use the number of winters to kind of like express how old we are.
Is that where the dough goes?
Yeah.
Okay. I also want to say Gomin Jada. You may have noticed that we kind of skipped ahead and then I kind of came back.
Yeah.
And so now we're going to do a repeat of 48 and 49.
Yeah.
So
So
we already saw these ones.
Mhm.
And then I'm going to jump to the next slide.
Yeah, and so we got Giwa no Weekwedung and Do Da. So I live in North Bay, Giwedna North. Weekwed is Bay, and it's got that W suffix connector. So when we add the locative, ing, becomes Weekwedung in the Bay. And then that N prefix for I or me, and Da, he or she resides in a certain place. And the last one is probably really helpful for learners. Ondek Dung blank Nishnabemung. So how is it said when Ojibwe is spoken? So we got that onde for an interrogative adverb, ekdung for what is said in C form. So kida is our verb for he or she says something in a certain way. And again, we got that initial change, that I sound in front, ikida to ekta. And then that ng is again that unspecified person we talked about earlier, the indefinite actor. So how is it said? Nishnabem mung, again with that ng suffix, both are B form, meaning unspecified actor. So when you're asking Ani Shektung or Ondeektung Nishnabemung, you're asking, how is it said when Ojibwe is spoken? So we're not specifying who is speaking or what they said, or just how is that unknown entity referring to that? All right. So yeah. Oh, this is my
This is
uh,
us, I think. We're saying Kichimiwach, Nishnabem Widowed. And we're really appreciative of you joining us this evening and sharing what you know. And so we also wanted to share your YouTube page because you do have some exciting things going on over there. And I know earlier before we went live, we were also talking about, I think, a prototype dictionary you're working on for the Nipissing dialect. But for those of you who may be interested in connecting with Falcon and learning more, you can check out his YouTube page. As you can see there's over 45 lessons. And he does a really great job in trying to explain how all these parts and pieces come together to communicate in Anishinaabe. And of course, I want to give a shout out to Lori McLeod Shabakijik for putting together these slides for us this evening and for sharing the YouTube page and highlighting how many lessons are available. And for those of you who are interested, our next Anishinaabe Nation Gizomaziligan will be happening on October the 2nd. It looks like we'll be going live at 7 p.m. So there will be a registration link floating around for that one, and we'll be focusing on phrases to use while hunting. And if you ever have, oh, what happened? I lost my slide there. If you ever have any questions, or would like to connect with myself or Lori McLeod Shabagishik, here are our email addresses. And we really just want to say to everybody, and especially to Falcon for joining us this evening and sharing all these words and phrases that you can use everywhere. I mean, we try to focus on like in the classroom because he is a teacher, and we're back to school in September, but really, these are words and phrases that we can use day to day. So, Kichimiwech, Kinawea. And if you have any questions, now's your chance. It just looks like here, though, we've had, a couple of thank yous and someone who's checking out our past videos, so that's great. We're here to support language preservation, reclamation, and revitalization. So always happy to hear that people are connecting with the resources and watching past recordings.
Also too, for my video, my YouTube channel, I just recorded 14 videos over the summer. I'm not too sure when I'm going to be getting to editing that. Hopefully they'll be up by the new year. And also too, I'm working on doing some self-publications for some of this grammar concepts and stuff like that. So I'm looking to self-publish a Nipissing grammar book in the new year as well. So those are stuff to look out for. Oh. So question, how do you say remember? To remember someone? So depending on the dialect, you would say like Minja Man Ma, I remember him or her, or Ndomken Ma, I remember him or her. In the chat there. So depending on your dialect, you might use Minjamin or Nkamen.
Oh, well, once again, we'd like to say Kichimiwech, for joining us this evening. And we've really appreciated the phrases that are shared, and we look forward to joining again next month.
Now, Miigwech, everyone.